as a caregiver, there was a thought that was persistent in my mind that I had to at some point recognize was causing me harm. And that thought was, what does any of this matter? And I thought that way because my husband's dying. He's literally losing mobility and ability to breathe. And so when a news cycle about like a celebrity story or a news cycle about some new happening or a sports team would come out, I'd be like, well, that doesn't matter. Or even as much as if I were to be trying to pursue some sort of goal or some sort of dream or some sort of creative ambition or think about my future, I would have these thoughts of, well, what does that matter? Your husband's dying. Why are you thinking about that? And I had to actually recognize how detrimental that thought process was to my day to day. My mental health was so weighed down because in my mind, the only thing that mattered was that my husband was dying. And I forgot that I also mattered. My health deteriorated. I wasn't putting anything into myself. And I had to switch the pattern to find things that mattered, not just for my mental health, but for my physical health. I had to remember drinking water matters and my future matters. And me having a little bit of joy or a little bit of peace within a chaotic world really, really matters. That's how we don't burn out. And I had to find meaning in so many small, simple things like getting out of bed or having the freedom to journal or making art. And I had to regain my peace and remembering that I matter. And that was something that I had to work really, really hard at. And now it surprises me that this thought actually comes back. So yesterday I had a bit of a crisis, so to speak, with my career. And thankfully I have a great team around me of my friends, family, as well as my colleagues. I reached out to everyone, we came up with a plan and we came up with a solution and everything's back on track. But yesterday I had the thought of saying, well, what does any of this matter? Because currently a hurricane has a week ago came through and took out so many of my favorite places and it caused so much destruction. We to this day don't know how much devastation it caused. We may never know. And some of my favorite places are destroyed. So why does my career having a little hiccup matter? And when that thought came back, I was like, oh, okay, Hope, time to check in because, we do a lot of trauma comparison. And I think it's something we were taught as kids, well, some of us maybe, because I remember, the story of, well, I don't want to eat that. And they're like, they're starving children in Africa. You should eat that. And I understand the perspective matters so much. And so understanding that we should be grateful for our resources and live in reverence of being able to breathe and have food and have water. It's so important to keep that perspective. Trauma comparison is not helpful because I truly believe that's why there's a lot of unhealed people walking around, because we think about our traumas in comparison to wars happening, famine, starving children, hurricanes just wiping out entire towns. And we're like, well, our trauma is nothing compared to that. So we really need you to suck it up, buttercup, and carry on. But that's not how we heal. You heal by actually saying, that was a very traumatic experience for me, and I need to feel it and heal it and say, I matter. And just being able to have that experience yesterday where I said, whoa, wait a minute, I'm literally trying to invalidate an experience where I was having a panic moment because I thought something was wrong and I worked it out with everybody that was a part of my team. And I had to allow myself to know that my career really matters. Not just for the fact that I'm going to be helping people who go through tragedies, but because it matters to my soul, my happiness, to my fulfillment in life. And that's all part of me mattering. And so I just want to remind you all, because it's so very easy for us to get caught up in patterns of what does this matter when there's so much chaos going on in the world globally. I'm obviously we're all very much so more impacted by what's in our backyards, and when your neighbors all around you have been hurt by a hurricane, it's very much so where your focus ends up lying. But there's also that worldwide. And so it's hard sometimes when we have the awareness of all the things going on in the world, and especially when we all care so deeply, to think that any of our stuff matters. But invalidating your experience isn't helping somebody else who's had trauma as well. Healing is what will help those that have had trauma. Because the more we all heal, the more we're all taking that energy out into the world. The more we are operating from a healed space, the more space we can hold for others that need that. The more we can then be sending love and light and goodness into the world, instead of bringing our traumas that we've never dealt with, that are just kind of buried inside, that we haven't transmuted into the light. And it's going to eventually come out in some way. Because I promise you, invalidating your experience and saying, oh, whatever I went through doesn't matter, isn't healing. And you can't run from it forever. You can't run from it forever. It will come and it will catch you, and it will do it at a time where it's least convenient. So I want to remind y'all how very much you matter, how very much all of your experiences matter, and how much your healing matters. Because if we're all going to be coming together instead of allowing ourselves to keep being divided, we have to come from a place of hope, and we have to come from a place of wholeness. And that comes from allowing ourselves the healing we're all worthy of, because we all matter. So if you, like me, find yourself thinking, there's a whole lot of tragedy going on in the world, I don't know that I should be giving myself this space or this grace or this love or this time, I'm here to remind you, you should. Please. It matters so very much. Each and every one of us doing our work and our healing and pursuing our dreams and our passions and excitement and allowing ourselves to matter is how we will heal others. We can stand from being divided when we understand how much we matter and how much other people matter, because we're not being told they matter more because they believe this, they matter more because their needs are this, they matter. Like, no. We all matter, and we're all in this together. We all need to come together right now. These natural disasters happening are a reminder to stop allowing whatever is dividing us to continue to divide us, because we all need each other now more than ever. And we need ourselves to put in the work for our healing now more than ever. You matter so very much. Your healing matters so very much. I matter so very much. And my healing matters so very much. So I hope this helps. I please beg of you to allow yourself the space today to dream and to see your goals as something that matters in the world, and to understand that you healing is worthy of the space and of the time. And when we all heal ourselves, that's how we're going to help others have the space to do the same. I am sending so much love out there to everyone who's been impacted. I am praying. I have donated to a lot of causes. Please, if you have it, water is needed, gas is needed. There are so many people out there helping, which reminds me of the hope that lives in the world, is that people care so much about other people. Do not ever listen to anything that says otherwise, because what I am seeing right now in all these natural disasters are people showing up for people they don't even know, for their neighbors, for their communities, and for communities beside them that have been just devastated. Thank you all who are out there doing the work. And if you've been impacted and you're just having a hard time processing, reach out to me. I'm here. I care. We all care so much, and we are all going to need to be in this together. We got this. Human beings are stronger together, and hope is possible. I love y'all.